So we're still out in the shop today, currently been working on the king size bed project, trying to get it kind of wrapped up. We are pretty much closing in on finishing up, aside from just applying the bed rails and the cross members for that. But I kind of want to take a break from that for right now and kind of focus on something else. Christmas is right around the corner and I want to make a picture frame for my mom. And like I said in the video prior, City Hardwoods, this is going to be, I don't know when this video is going up or how that's going to work, but when I went down to City Hardwoods, I got some Padauk, and I want to do either a pine and Padauk picture frame for her with like mostly pine and then Padauk inlay on the inside, and make a picture frame of us, because I realized a while back that I don't really have a lot of pictures of me and my mom, and because we're so focused on taking pictures of the kids, and she's focused on taking pictures of the grandkids, and it's just when we're together we don't have a lot of pictures. And now that I'm a maker, I would like to make a picture frame for her that's not just your normal picture frame. It's, you know, got a little good wood in it. So
stop and look around once in a while, you could miss it.
Alright, so here we're taking the Padauk that I actually got from City Hardwoods over the weekend in a woodworkers meetup, which that place was awesome, by the way. I know I've probably said it a couple times in the video, but I really did have a good time. But we're ripping the Padauk into 1/4 inch strips that we're going to use for the inlays that are going to contrast with the pine that we use. This pine here, I cut my boards to an original width of 3 inches and then went back and cut 1 inch segments. So here's the second piece of the inch, or second inch, and then I used the third piece, put those all together because I wanted to keep the grain going in the same pattern. That way, once I put the Padauk inserts in, you would have pine, Padauk, and pine, and all three of the grains of the 3 pieces of pine would intersect through the Padauk insert. See me using some of the little push sticks that I made with some little, I guess you could call pistol grips or hand grips on them. They really come in handy when you cut these kind of thinner pieces of wood or 1/4 inch segments.
Life moves pretty fast. You don't stop and look around once in a while, you could miss it.
Okay, so now we're going to set the depth and width of the dado for the picture frame insert. I've got my square here set to 1/4 of an inch. You just set it on the top of your table saw and then set the other side on top of your blade. Get your 1/4 inch depth that way. The problem I have with this though is because I have this cheap Ryobi table saw, and I really need to make a 0 clearance insert. So we're going to see how it turns out. But the pieces, as long as you can register on this space, it's definitely a 1/4 inch, but you might go a little deeper. Say you're pushing through and catch this loop here. We're gonna try to go real slow and hopefully we don't fall inside this gap here. Alright, so to kind of elaborate what I was talking on just a second ago is it's not that big of a problem when you have the flat face registered against the gray area or the face of the table saw. The main issue comes when you go and actually try to cut the dado vertically. You don't have a lot of the table saw face to register against. So see here, the front of my piece is trying to register on the insert, and that causes your dado to be a little out of line, which it's not a big deal. Here in a few minutes you'll see me cleaning up the extra space with the chisel. On to miters. This would probably be a lot easier if I had like a picture frame miter sled or just a miter sled in general for the table saw, but currently don't have one, and after this project I can ensure that I'll definitely be making one. My miters came together pretty well, as you'll see here in a few minutes, but it would have just been a lot easier, and I feel like my cuts would have been a little bit smoother. So here I'm just making sure that my edges line up and I actually put the two ends together, and they come together rather well. And here in just a few seconds you're going to see me measure the dados, which, pro tip, if you guys haven't made a picture frame before and this is your first time, you don't measure by the width of the board, you measure by the length of the dado. So here I'm making a 10 by 12 picture frame, so I will have two dados that are 10 inches from inside to inside, and two that are 12 inside to inside. Then here I'm just transferring my line to the top, so when I cut on the miter saw it's easier for me to see. Now for the final glue up, gluing all my edges together, making sure everything's aligned properly. In the beginning I tried to turn my clamp upside down and set the picture frame on the inside, but I found it would be a little easier doing it this way after trial and error. What I will invest in definitely is some of the cable clamps or tie clamps that have the 90-degree fittings on each side that will make a perfect 90-degree square. Those would have definitely come in handy and made this final glue up a little bit easier. Guys, that's it. We finished the picture frame. I think it turned out pretty sweet. Is it flawless? No. I'll be completely honest, it's not, but I think it turned out pretty good, and it has special meaning for me. This is going to be a picture frame that Has a picture of me and my mom. Like I said, we haven't got a lot of pictures together. Got to cherish the little moments, you know. But come to find out, the picture that I wanted to put in here, I lost the SD card for. I have another idea, and I'll probably post this on Instagram. If you're not following on Instagram, at Chisel and Plane, hit me up. I'll put a link in the description for Instagram. But I appreciate you guys hanging out for the build. I hope you learned something. I hope I was able to teach you guys something. I hope you enjoyed it all together. And if you're not subscribed to the channel, feel free to subscribe, link down below, and follow me on Instagram. And yeah, I appreciate you guys hanging out. Take it easy.